All right, guys, good afternoon. Um, let's immediately start. So I will put it here on the screen. So yesterday was I got feedback from one of my language peers, and they told me like, hey, these sentences that will also show on the screen right now. Sometimes we use them every day, but sometimes there's context, and sometimes we don't use them at all. So I was like, hey, yeah, thank you for telling me this. Obviously, not all sentences will be used. So how I'm going to approach this? So they gave me like a long context sentence, and I was like, yeah, that's also not going to work. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna think about it. And yesterday evening, I got a solution. So one of the solutions is like, before I'm going to practice 100 sentences from Korean and Japanese a day, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to send them. It's like, hey, is this a sentence that is used every day? If not, let me know. Give me a sentence example. This is the context that I want to use for this specific case. Um, what should I do? What should I say? Um, so that is something that I'm going to do in the morning, and then during work or on the way in work when I have time, I will do that. I will practice that. It's a little bit harder to take notes like that, but we will figure it out. So the second problem that I've encountered, like I'm 20 sentences in, which I'm one fifth of the goal. I'm happy that I'm one fifth of the goal. Um, I noticed that my Anki is great, but I cannot remember a single sentence. And the reason why is the order of the sentence. Because I'm starting like how everyone learns a language, like, okay, this is the Korean part. I will show it on the screen. This is the Korean part, and then this is the English part. But I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to do the English part first and then the Korean part because I want to use it for speaking. I'm not using it for everyday language, right? Like everyday like writing or those kinds of stuff. So I figured out to do that. Some people will do both, like and reverse the cards. But there was a very simple setting in Anki that you can flip all the cards, and you can even make a separate instance to actually have a double account. But I'm not doing that. So on the next video, I will also talk about my motivation of language for Japanese and Korean. I think I should be very specific about this, that I'm not the average language learner that just wants to emerge and those kinds of stuff, but that is for a separate video. All right, so moving on. Um, TypeScript. Um, So I need to check the docs, the JavaScript docs for REST operators. I kind of forgot how it works. It's actually very simple, but yeah, it's worth checking. That is something I'm going to do while working. It's not a lot, so that is something I will read. And for the TypeScript documentation, I will check the types because I ran into a exercise that something I didn't know, and that is why you also should also read the docs. But yeah, I still have like a small flow state because I'm just starting to build the habit, right? Um, I did not have time for that. So later on today, I will check the docs about interfaces and types. And sometimes you can extend the types, but sometimes you can also add the types and then use them in a function or some like a void function in TypeScript or something else. Um, so yeah, also today I was learning React, which I will show you on the screen. Like I'm showing screens, right? Like for revision and those kinds of stuff. Um, so React, I was learning useState, which actually was fine. I remember how it works, but then I got an exercise that I should separate it in components, and that's when I ran into problems because I know how to do things in components and refer it back, but when a use case comes, I'm doing something wrong, so I will have to check that on one of my revision dailies because it's not a lot. But if it's too much, then I will put it on the revision 1 or revision 2. If you don't know what it means, I will explain it. Revision 1 is on Mondays, where I spend like an hour figuring out stuff. This could be multiple stuff, it could be one or two stuff, and it ends when I actually understand it. So Monday and Thursdays, I have a daily one that is between 20 and 30 minutes. I also have a bigger ones, but that is something I'm not going to talk about right now. But basically, that is something that I need to do. And I'm also going to check the docs maybe tonight, but it's not a priority to do that, because if there's no time, then well, there's no time. I can also do it tomorrow or maybe the next day. It is not the number one thing I need to do. Um, so also today, which I will put on the screen, is that I was learning Harigana. I learned 25 characters. Now that is somewhat an alphabet in another language. So I will repeat that for maybe a day or two to actually grasp and like I'm not making a lot of mistakes, but and even today, I just filled them on in one time, but it's not like fast. I actually need to. It's like a quiz, right? Like you're filling in the things that you know, and then you're filling in the things that you maybe know, and then you don't know, and that is a good way of approaching. But you know, later on, I actually need to read, and that's when I can run into trouble. So that's why I'm taking the time for this. So I'm gonna repeat that maybe for 1 or 2 days, and then continue on to the next the next syllables in Japanese. So that was it for today. Thank you so much. If you like these videos and you want to see me make 600 a day in 7 years, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment on the video, and I will see you on to the next.